Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning, all the participants and fellow speakers and presenters. Thank you, Kesnia, for giving us a lovely introductions about myself. Basic do's and don'ts for the entering the Indian investment migration market. So today we're going to talk about 25-30 minutes on this subject. As you all know, my name is Prashant Ajmera. I'm an immigration attorney, Canadian citizen, but based out of India and involved with this practice for almost 30 years. I've been associated with the ILP since 2018. The first virtual, not the virtual show, but the real show was done in May 2018. And then the first 3 shows were done, or conference were done actually in Mumbai, India. And since last 2 years, we've been doing it online. And rather than any immigration aspect, I've always been asked to speak on the subjects, do's and don'ts of entering into the Indian market for the investment migration market. So today I've done a presentation a little bit different. Some of you might find the same elements which you have seen it in the past, but I'm trying to do it in a different way. Probably you will get some more ideas about the Indian market. So Indian market is different than the rest of the market, and that's why we need to have these presentations, and we try to do it at the beginning of the conference so everybody gets an idea about the Indian market. So as we all know that, like in any other market, Indian market has 4 players. One is an Indian regulators or the government regulations, Indian professionals, Indian investors, and global professionals, like many of you who are interested in entering into the market or trying to enter into the market or already in the Indian market. So I'm going to talk about in the 4 perspectives, the pros and cons and what is happening, and then what could be the best practice, what should be avoided, and so on and so forth. So this is my little experience of last 30 years, what I've tried to put it in this 30 minutes presentation. Unfortunately, I could not join you guys because right now I'm in Dubai and speaking at the another cross-border conference in Dubai. So that's why I'm doing this presentation by video conference. So Indian regulators, number 1. Why? Because India is one of the countries where we have a heavy currency restriction by our central bank, RBI, also known as Reserve Bank of India. So liberalization started India only in 2008. That means officially the Indian citizen could take money out of India was only started in 2008 with the little amount of $25,000 US. Now the limit is given to the $250,000 US since 2013 per year per person. And remember, the Indian financial year starts on the 1st of April and finishes on 31st of March. When it comes to remitting the money out, it requires a lot of paperwork. You need to fill up a form, you need to provide an invoice, you need to provide an agreement and other supporting documents, in many cases a CA certificate from an Indian chartered accountant, and it can take a time consuming, particularly if you're doing this transaction for the first time. The practice is also though it is a central bank, we have seen that from bank to bank in India or within the same bank, from branch to branch, the practice can vary from bank to bank. Many banks, if you go to the small Indian banks or small branches, they are reluctant to do the transfers or remit the payment. And they give you such a big list of documents and requirement to transfer the money. It's as good as that. We are not interested in doing this ones. Why this is happening? Because we believe that in general, there is a lack of knowledge amongst the Indian professionals like lawyers and chartered accountants, immigration agents. And because of that, the investors are also ignorant about the remittance and taxation. And remember, the FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act, or Foreign Exchange Management Regulations, was considered as a criminal offense if you take the money out of India. When these regulations were changed, now there is only a penalty. So it's a financial penalty is there, but criminal offense is not there. But the Indian citizen has gone through that regime of the criminalizations of the remittance of the money out of India, that mindset is still there in people's mind that if you try to take the money out of India, you can get into a bigger trouble with the government of India. Indian professionals. When it comes to the Indian professionals, particularly in immigration industries, is regulated by or managed by rather unregulated immigration consultants. Neither they have their own associations, neither they have any licensing bodies or anything to regulate. So anybody and everybody can come out and say, I'm an immigration consultant, and they are mushrooming up across India, and probably more than 5,000 immigration consultants are there. As per the Indian law, or the Advocate Acts of 1963, only Indian lawyers can practice law in India, including the immigration law. And whether this immigration law is an Indian law or a foreign law. So that means the other interpretation given by the Supreme Court of India is that any company or an individual giving a legal advice on Indian or foreign immigration law must be a licensed Indian immigration lawyer. Most chartered accountants are unable to advise on foreign investment and taxation advice. The Indian Chartered Accountants, why? Because I spoke to the Chartered Accountant Institute of India and their Committee on the Foreign Taxations. There, most of the knowledge sharings and the publication is available on the joint venture agreements and for the companies, but not for an individuals. And I requested them to publish the documents and the white paper in the event that if the Indian citizen is making an investment out of India, then how it should be treated, reported, and if there is tax to be paid or a reclaim, then how it can be done. And they agreed that yes, they do not have this kind of an information, and they would like to publish the white paper on this one. When it will come out, definitely I'll circulate with you guys as well. And because of all these things, as we are new into this regime of transferring the money out of India, which is the main essence of the residency and citizenship by investment, there is a lack of knowledge among the immigration agents, professionals, and investors and Indian citizens regarding the RCI as well. The fourth player is Indian investors. When we meet our clients here in India, the first thing I like to come and say that we are doing it for our children's educations and their futures. So if they are showing an interest on the residency and citizenship by investment, the only reasons they are doing it is for the children's educations and futures. I would say 8 out of 10 investors are interested in doing it for the children's educations and futures. Also, I have seen that they have a wrong perception that immigration is only for the financially deprived people. So if you are not financially well off, then only you take an immigration. Because up till 2014-15, when the EB-5 was introduced in India in a big way by a number of companies, including our law firms, most of the people were not aware of that there is a program called in different countries like residency and citizenship by investment. When we talk about the second passports, generally the people look at it that probably looking for a quick second passport because he's running away from the law in India. Also, one of the other perceptions we have seen is when it comes to making just an investment into the foreign financial instrument or investment into the real estate, the ticket size could be very high. But as we know that you can make a small investment up to $100,000 and $200,000, and you don't have to make millions of dollars of an investment to get your residencies or in certain countries even a citizenship. And why we are talking about with respect to the parents that their interest is into the children's education and futures. That's our conclusion based on the clients coming to meet us in our office, but also our central bank or Reserve Bank of India's every month they publishes the amount of money remitted or invested out of India. And if you look at this last 12 years of the data, year by year it has increased, and just before the COVID, the remittance out of India was almost $19 billion US, $19 billion US, compared in that, if we further do the diversification or the of this number, you will see that almost $10 billion is being remitted by the Indian parents for the children's educations and their living expenses. Whereas when it comes to the investment into the financial instrument, property, deposits, or the debt instrument is only less than $1 billion. And then the other investment is into the travel expenses. So the major expense is done, remittance done by the Indian citizens are for the foreign studies and travel, which makes almost $17 billion out of 19. That means the Indians are spending money, but not investing into the foreign country. And that's the mindset we need to change if we want to see the rise in the residency and citizenship by investment. No doubt, obviously, we need to show the further benefits of the residency and citizenship by investment. And there are a number of reasons are there. And those reasons need to be shown, for example, obviously children's educations and the settlements, expansion of business, visa-free travel, diversification of portfolio, non-resident status, the tax planning, and so on and so forth. All those things needs to be shown in more details and educate them so they would be more interested in rather investing the money into our residency and citizenship program rather than just doing the expenditures for their children's educations and also for the travel purpose only. And when it comes to the global professionals, how they're looking at the Indian market. Since last 10 years, I have seen when this market started started taking interest, we have seen that the global professionals are using the same strategies. Find an immigration agent and they will bring us a business. Unfortunately, that hasn't worked very well for most of the global professionals, which includes the immigration lawyers, real estate companies, real estate developers, real estate brokers, and other related professionals. What I firmly believe is that the global professionals should look into more into the quantity and quality of the agents rather than a quantity of the agents. So if you have a one or two good quality agents can bring you a regular stream of the leads and also the investors rather than having a 20, 30 immigration agents across India. Because these immigration agents, you may realize it that they themselves are dealing only with the students' visas and consultants. They've never dealt with the professionals. They are not educated like a chartered accountant or a lawyers. So they are not in a position to advise to their clients the way in which these investors would like to get their answers. The other problem which we see with these global professionals who wish to enter into an Indian market, that there's no marketing strategies or awareness campaign being done. They just want to come here, appoint an agent and says, get us a client. It's only seminars and conferencing done in 5-star hotels. When it comes to the Indian investors, with the regular frauds happening in the various industries on a regular basis, Indian investors has a very hard time to have a confidence among the people when they want to make an investment into some product or some programs, and particularly out of India. And that unless and until we bring that confidence, I don't think that this immigration or residency and citizenship market will grow in India. When we promote the foreign programs, it's promoted for these obvious reasons, whatever the mind it comes to. But it's rarely or very few programs I have seen or in their presentations that it's not being promoted for the purpose of children's education, the quality of education in your countries and so on and so forth, and how it will benefit their children to get them interested in investing in your programs. So European programs, Caribbean programs, they're all being promoted as a second passport or a second residencies. But the programs are never being promoted as education destinations, and then how these the children of the wealthy parents can take an advantage of the residency and citizenship in those countries. So I firmly believe that it should be done with that angle in the mind, on top of the other reasons we provide for investing into the particular program. It could be Portugal, Spain, Greece golden visas, Bulgarians, Malta, Cyprus, all the 5 Caribbean countries. Also, as a culture, what I have seen is that when you are means Indian citizens or Indian investors are interested in knowing how much is the Indian population in that country. Is there any temple there? Is there any Indian restaurant there? Can we find our groceries there? And so forth. These are very basic questions are there. Most of the programs are promoted as a projects or a programs rather than promoting the country. What kind of quality of life is there? What is the India connection is there? It's hardly being done. I remember my days 30 years back when I started promoting the Canadian immigrations in India. We used to show it to the clients that in a map that here is the United States, which everybody is aware of it. And on top part of this one is a Canada. There are 10 provinces and so forth. Over the period of time, with the help of so many immigration professionals working in the industries, now the clients are more knowledgeable about Canada than us sometimes. They are up to date with the information and so forth. Also, apart from the Canadian programs and an EB5 program of USA, global professionals do not have a direct presence in India, which could be very expensive, and many of them, they don't want to do it. But they don't try to find out or figure out that how do we associate with somebody as an associate or agents or an immigration lawyer or a consultant or somebody where we can say that now we have a presence in India to get the confidence of the client, confidence of the investors. And I believe that the Indian professionals, foreign professionals, and the developers or the real estate agents should work as a team to get the confidence of the Indian investors to get interested in your programs. So now we looked at the 4 types of people involved into it, but I'm further diversifying into the 4 types of investors you will see in India. One is obviously India is a very big country with almost 1.3 billion populations. So country is very large, obviously, and opportunities is there as well. I mean, I'm not denying that one. But you will see immediately when somebody is reacting to your social media post or an advertisement, these are the investors who wants to leave or immigrate for irrespective of what reason. I don't want to stay in India and they want to do it. And the other one you will see them is the parents or children's running late. What do I mean by that one? That means the children has gone abroad for a study, first child, and then the parents and child has realized that the immigrations in that country is not that easy as they thought, or the immigration is going to take a longer period of time. In the case of USA, it's a very obvious example. And now they are looking at the other route, that how can we get a residency and citizenship by investment. So these are the parents who are running late. Because of this, now we have started seeing the parents, Indian parents who wish to plan, that they wish to plan that, okay, I have a young kids. Can I look into the residency and citizenship for my family? How can I immigrate? Because now I'm in the age group of 35 to 50. Probably I may not qualify as a skilled worker or professionals or by having a job offer probably. Can I do some things and how can I immigrate? So this is the 3rd category of people you will see in India. And the 4th one is the pure investors, because they have understood the importance of the diversifying their portfolio. They are interested into investing into the real estate out of India. They are interested into investing into the financial instruments. They are interested into, basically getting a better returns and so forth. So they are pure investors. And then they say that, well, I might do a residency and citizenship by investment just to retire, or probably like to have a property in somewhere in Europe or in USA. So when I retire, I have a second home. So probably sometimes I'll pass it in India, sometimes I'll do it out of India. So these are the 4 types of investors you will see in India. Depending on the kind of an investors you make in India, you want to have a different strategies to deal with each one of them. Because if you use the same track of selling a program or a project, it may not work. And you may get a lot of inquiries, but the conversion rate could be very slow. So now what are the things to avoid? Based on this, I'm sure that you got the conclusion, but 7 mistakes to avoid to break through the Indian market. Basically, it's a summary of what I mentioned, but replicating the marketing model of the other Asian countries. That means what I said in a previous slide, appointing an agent. Don't try to appoint an agent. I've seen 3 major companies in India in the last 7 years. They have come to India, spent an awful amount of money, appointed an agent across India, had a big staff, and so on and so forth. The result was 0 because they didn't understand the Indian market. Working with many immigration agents at the same time. And then the information which goes ultimately to the investors is from agent to agent, it is different. And then many of these programs are just being spoiled. Even though they are good programs, but they are being spoiled, I would say, by the so-called immigration agents and consultants. You have to keep your program. Each program is good. It has its pros and cons, but we have to keep that superiority of this particular program rather than just giving it to get me a client. I don't care how they get it. Expecting an Indian HNIs to be open to the idea of RCR because it's a new concept. The residency and citizenship by investment is a new idea. In other countries like China, Taiwan, Korea, Vietnam, in Middle East countries, in Indians living in Middle East countries, they are open to the residency and citizenship by investment. But the Indian HNIs and ultra HNIs who are on the main soil in India, they are not. Recently, I spoke to one developer in Europe, and I asked this particular question: how many cases you have done it for the Portugal Golden Visa program from India? Oh, we have 8 clients. I said, good. Can you tell me that your particular clients are based in India, or they were out of India, or they had money out of India? So answer was that none of them were from an India with money in India. Either they were Indians living outside India, or they were Indians whose money were out of India and they made an investment into their projects to obtain the residency of European country. So that's the market problems what we are facing. Also, India is a democratic country. We have our challenges in every respect, but we have a decent democracy. Rule of law is there. And that's why many wealthy people are not in a rush to leave the country, unlike we have seen in the other countries. Also, neglecting the stigma of the HNIs in India for an immigration is also needs to be educate them that you are not taking an immigration because you are not financially well off. You're taking it to have a better and second options for yourself, for your children, and so on and so forth. Expecting the HNIs advisors to do the work for you. I've seen that a lot of global professionals, when they want to come to India, they want to work with these Indian professionals, Indian agents, and ask them to do all the work for their selling their programs. They are very new to this one. They have hardly has an idea, and they cannot sell the programs the way in which it should be promoted by convincing the clients, not forcing the clients. The client will be convinced only when you give them a solutions rather than give them a product. That's what I believe. Give your clients a solutions that, yes, this is your problem, this is what you want to achieve, and this is the right program for you to make it, because it will solve your problems. But the way in which it's being promoted as a product rather than a solutions. Also, as I mentioned before, understanding the challenges of getting money out of India. That itself is a big hindrance. Sometimes one invoice, when we get it from a lawyer or a new lawyers or a developers or the agents to transfer the client's money from India out of, India to the other countries, it takes sometimes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks time. And the professionals outside India are getting frustrated. Why is it taking so long? Why it's so and so forth? Not understanding that it's a challenging job here, and that we work very closely with our clients, with the banks, to make sure that the money transfer is smooth, but still we face the challenge. And many a times, as a lawyer, as a law firm, we need to educate them, we need to tell them that these are the rules and regulations, and under these rules, these regulations, and these notifications of the government or a central bank, the money can be transferred. So what you should do if you want to enter into an Indian market. Things to avoid, but at the same time, I would like to talk about the 10 things you should do to enter the Indian market. Educate the investors and agents. Build the trust with them. Focus first on selling your country, not your project or a program. If you want to be in India for a long time, then gain a trust that you are the person who is trustworthy, whom they can give their money, hard-earned money, to get the residency and citizenship for their families or for the children. Find a common ties between India and your country. Do not try to cover the whole India in a one trip. India is a very large country. Even though I'm born and brought up here, I'm a Canadian citizen now, still I would say I have to still discover a certain part of India, because it's a very large country. Officially, we have so many languages. In every state, they have a different language, different cuisine. When I go to the certain part of India, I find a different cuisine, which I never tried in my life. Try working with the one or a few good associates or an agents rather than many mediocre ones across India. Allocate a sizable budget for marketing. You depend on an agent or an associate in India. They have too many programs, almost 18, 20 programs to promote. And you expect them that they will do a program of justice for you. Probably when you are visiting in India, they will do 1 or 2 seminars. After that, are they going to do anything for you? I don't think so. And I have seen so many agents that, yeah, they go on a roadshow with some developers or some agents or an immigration lawyers. But after that 1 week or 10 days, they just disappear. Or they don't do anything because the people are making an inquiry for other countries. And as a law firm, I will put my money where the inquiries are coming, which is US and Canada. So you need to understand the Indian market. You need to have a marketing budget and then work with some local associates or law firms or an immigration agents, or whomever you feel comfortable with, to have a proper marketing strategy and doing the work of bringing the good leads and eventually converting into them clients. Be generous with the good introductions and think out of the box. These are my suggestions or my pointers, but obviously I'm sure that you guys are very, very successful professionals around the world and try to think something more in a different way. This is just my some suggestions and some certain things I mentioned to you. Talking about myself, yes, I'm a founder of the Ajmera Law Group, Indian lawyers, Canadian citizens, and NRI since 1988. Involved with the RCI practice 1993. I've written 2 books, Millionaires on the Move and How to Plan for Your Child's Foreign Education. Obviously, I've written a number of articles and blogs and YouTube channels. I've been speaking at the moderators and panelists at the RCI conference and other events like this one. I'm associated with the leading immigration lawyers and developers and professionals in 20+ countries. And my goal as of now is to promote the RCI programs in India to the Indian investors to take a real advantage or benefit of the RCI programs. This is my first book, Millionaires on the Move. If anybody is interested, they can send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to send an e-copy. This is the second book, How to Plan for Your Child's Foreign Educations. And specifically, I written this book 2 years back to bring the RCI programs benefit to the Indian HNIs, to educate them, to basically give them an overview, a 360-degree view of the studying abroad and settling is not the only way, but there are so many other options that are out there. And one of them is obviously residency and citizenship by investment. These are our coordinates. If anybody wish to get in touch with me, more than happy to do so. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for your time. As this is a recorded message, I cannot take your any questions or answer right now. But if you have any question, just send me an email or connect with me on our social media, and I'll be more than happy to answer. Or you can pick up a phone and call me as well. The best way is through the LinkedIn to the professional who wish to get connected with me, investors, is prashant@ajmeralaw.com. Once again, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. It's been a lovely to be here with you, ILP, and I wish you guys all a very fruitful day. Thank you very much.